if I could go back and talk to my college self, I'd start with two words: slow down, not with school but with my spending habits. Back then it felt like everyone was living large on borrowed money, but what I didn't see were the years of interest payments and financial stress that came later. In this video, I'm breaking down the money lessons I learned way too late in college, so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. We're talking about everything from student loans to side hustles, and how even small financial decisions can have a big impact down the road. Let's get into it. Let's talk about student loans. We've all heard it: get good grades, go to a good college, get a good job. And to afford that good college, most of us took out loans. It felt like just part of the process, right? Everyone was doing it. But here's the thing, I didn't fully grasp the weight of those loans. Every dollar I borrowed, every single one, came with interest attached. It's like this: you borrow $1,000 but you end up paying back $1,200, $1,500, even more, depending on the interest rate and how long it takes you to pay it off. I remember using student loan money to buy a new phone. Looking back, that phone probably cost me double because of the interest. Listen, I get it, college is expensive and sometimes loans feel unavoidable. But my advice? Treat borrowed money like it's even more expensive than cash, because in the long run, it is. Explore every scholarship, grant, and work-study opportunity before you even think about borrowing. Trust me, your future self will thank you. So you land your first campus job. Maybe it's at the library, maybe it's waiting tables, whatever. You're pumped because you're finally making your own money. And that's awesome. But here's where things can get tricky. Lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is what happens when your spending increases alongside your income. You get a raise, you start buying fancier coffee, you get a bonus, you upgrade your wardrobe. It's subtle, but it can really sneak up on you. I remember when I got my first campus job, I started eating out more, buying clothes I didn't need, and just generally spending more freely. It felt justified because, hey, I was earning money. But looking back, I wish I had saved at least 20% of every paycheck. Even if it was just $10 here and there, it would have added up over time. The lesson here? Just because you're earning more, doesn't mean you need to spend more. Be mindful of your spending habits and prioritize saving and investing early on. It will make a world of difference later. Okay, let's talk about budgeting. I know, it sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry. I used to think budgets were for boring people too. But then, something happened that changed my whole perspective. My debit card got declined at Taco Bell. Talk about rock bottom. That's when I realized I wasn't broke, I was just completely clueless about where my money was going. So, I did something radical. I started tracking my spending. I wrote down every dollar I spent, every coffee, every late-night pizza delivery. And you know what? It was eye-opening. Once I saw where my money was actually going, I could start making changes. I could see where I was overspending and where I could cut back. Budgeting wasn't about restricting myself. It was about taking control of my finances. And let me tell you, that control was empowering. Chapter 4. Credit cards are tools, not toys. Ah, credit cards. Those shiny pieces of plastic that promise so much freedom and convenience. I remember getting my first credit card in college. It had a $1,200 limit, and it felt like free money. I mean, who wouldn't want to buy things they couldn't technically afford? The problem was, I didn't understand the concept of interest rates or how quickly credit card debt could spiral out of control. I maxed out that card in under a month, and then the minimum payments started rolling in, and the interest kept piling on, and suddenly, I was stuck in a cycle of debt that felt impossible to escape. Here's the thing about credit cards. They're incredibly useful tools when used responsibly. They can help you build credit, earn rewards, and even provide a safety net in emergencies. But if you can't pay off your balance in full every month, they can quickly turn into a financial nightmare. My advice, if you're not ready to treat your credit card like a debit card, meaning only spending money you actually have, then don't get one. It's not worth the risk. Chapter 5. You know what they say, it's not the big expenses that break the bank, it's the little leaks. And trust me, those little leaks can add up fast. I'm talking about the daily coffees, the vending machine snacks, the late-night food deliveries. Those small, seemingly insignificant purchases can easily drain your bank account without you even realizing it. I used to think, what's the big deal about a $3 coffee? But then I started tracking my spending and realized I was spending over $100 a month on coffee alone. That was a wake-up call. Once I started paying attention to those small purchases, I was amazed by how much money I was able to save. My advice? Track everything. every single dollar. Use a budgeting app, a spreadsheet, or even just a notebook. The point is to become aware of your spending habits, no matter how small the purchase. You might be surprised by what you find. Chapter 6. Here's the thing about college, you learn a lot. You learn about history, science, literature, maybe even a foreign language or two. But there's one crucial subject that's often missing from the curriculum: personal finance. I spent years learning about calculus and chemistry, but no one taught me how credit scores worked, or how to file my taxes. I wish someone had sat me down and explained the basics of managing money, investing, and building a solid financial foundation. It would have saved me a lot of stress and mistakes down the road. The good news is, you don't have to wait for someone to teach you. There are countless resources available online and in libraries. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch videos like this one. Even dedicating just 10 minutes a week to learning about personal finance can make a huge difference in the long run. Chapter 7. College is a time for exploration, for trying new things, for figuring out what you're passionate about. And what better time to start a side hustle? Now, I'm not saying you need to become the next Mark Zuckerberg while you're still in school, but experimenting with different side hustles can be incredibly valuable. Think about it. You could freelance, tutor, sell handmade goods on Etsy, start a YouTube channel. The possibilities are endless. The point isn't necessarily to get rich quick, although wouldn't that be nice? But to gain experience, develop new skills, and explore different career paths. Side hustles teach you about time management, marketing, customer service, and so much more. Plus, they can provide some extra income, which is always a bonus. And who knows, your side hustle might even turn into your full-time gig one day. The important thing is to start exploring your options and see what sticks. College is about learning, not just in the classroom, but about life. And one of the most valuable things you can learn is how to manage money. If you're in college or just out of it, start now. Don't wait until you're drowning in debt or feeling lost and confused about your finances. Track your spending, create a budget that works for you, and learn from my mistakes. Track your spending. Budget with intention. Learn from my mistakes, and make smarter moves than I did. Don't forget to subscribe to Wealthy and Productivity Hub for more real-life financial lessons. See you in the next one.